hopefully in this video, the 240 will be getting tuned and we'll be driving it. Tried filming this video before, but I had a problem. So I guess let me update you. I finished my little sunroof project from the other video because I had to cut the slider. So yeah, that all should drip down and I won't be getting any more water on the brides. This is kind of a rat's nest right now, but that'll get picked up later. We got the Infinity, got my harness back, got it all put in the car. Car's looking pretty done. Arrow catch, arrow latch, whatever. Their hood catch pins are garbage. I don't even move my car and they somehow come unaligned, but it is what it is. So the only thing left to do that's stopping me from starting this is setting the ignition timing, and I do have a timing light and everything, but the thing is I have the coil unplugged, so I don't really know how to check that. So I guess what you would do, or what AEM says, you take an OEM coil pack, or the coil pack that came on the car, cut the end off, you can't see, and then you jam that up in the K-series coil pack, and that should work. And I don't know, it wasn't. So I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not gonna mess anything up, but pretty soon here someone's gonna be coming over and we're gonna be putting the 240 on the trailer, and we're gonna go and take it to drop off to get tuned. I'm probably not gonna, it's a Sunday, I'm just dropping it off, and then hopefully sometime during the week they'll be able to get this thing tuned and finished for me. Not very excited, just don't want to get my hopes up. This thing could blow up. I did everything right, knock on wood. It shouldn't, but like, I'm not gonna get my hopes up. I'm just gonna assume, or just not get my hopes up, just with the whole Civic ordeal. This is kind of the same thing. Wasted my whole summer because of stupid stuff. But really can't wait to drive this. So I'm going to take the kit off, and I think that's about it, really. I guess I can update you a little bit on the BMW. Might be a little bright. I got the camber plates on. I think I did a pretty good job with that. Still got a lot more camber to go, but probably not gonna film me loading the 240 up, so you'll probably just see it when the car's done, hopefully. Not gonna get my hopes up. Anything can happen. I'd rather not get my hopes up and then something bad happen and then be like, well, whatever, than to be like, oh yeah, I can't wait to go and drift this car this weekend, it's gonna be so much fun, and then something bad happens, or I need a sensor, I don't know, so I just don't want to be let down. So yeah, next clip will probably be when we go to pick it up. I'm sorry this turned into a talking video. I promise there will be clips of the car running. Just hear me out. I want to explain something first. If you can't wait 1 minute, I'll put the timestamp right here for you to go ahead and watch. But we dropped the car off. When I went to go get it running, the nut for the alternator pulley came off. I must not have tightened it very tight after I painted the pulley. So I had to go run up and get another nut because it was like a weird thread pattern. Then they ended up getting it running and they started hearing like a knocking sound. They weren't sure if it was like head noise or from the bottom end. It was kind of like in between, like at the top of the block, bottom of the head. Couldn't really make it out. My turbo manifold was really warped and the gasket wasn't sealing. So I just took the car back, I swapped out the gasket, replaced it, and I guess these are the clips from after I replaced that and we started up and I got to hear it for the first time.
Probably fix itself out. Damn, though. Smells like E back here. Something's smoking, but it's probably it's coming from the, it's coming from the header. It's just some in the manifold. You can definitely smell it though. Back there at least.
It's on?
Yeah.
Good.
It ain't raw now.
So in that last clip, when I pulled the car into the garage, it stalled out, and I wanted to check the oil pressure because I didn't really look at that the whole time. I mean, the oil pressure was like 42 psi that whole time. I turned the car back on, and it was around like 20 psi. It never went to 0, the oil pressure, but it did drop down to 20, but it's kind of hard to read because the only way to keep the car running was with the throttle, because it was spinning a bearing, but whatever. So at that point, I decided, all right, I'm just going to pull the engine apart. We need to figure out exactly what this is, because that knocking sound was way too loud. Because I did pull the car out because I just wanted to go and drive it down the street and back just for myself, so that, I don't know, I've been building this car for 4 years. Obviously, engine's out. We'll get to that in a second. But I've been building this car for 4 years. I knew it was about to be a little bit longer before I got to actually drive it, because the engine had to come out. So I just wanted to drive it up and down the street to drive it, like I said. And the knocking got so loud when I revved it, only up to like $3,000. That's the highest I revved it, was $3,000, and it was really loud. It was definitely knocking. So pulled the car back in the garage, pulled the engine out, and I have a buddy who's been building KAs for 15 years. The KA in his car, he's had for 10 years. He has all like the special, like specific specs and stuff and tolerances of like everything to make sure that the engine is like really good. Brought it to him. He took it apart because he offered to just go over the whole thing, like completely redo everything, just to make sure that like I had that peace of mind that it would be perfect for the next time, which I have no problem doing. So what we found out was so what we think happened was the valve guide in the head, a piece of it broke, and it fell into the head. Well, no, it fell into the engine through the valve, and it basically got smashed on the outer edge of the piston and got like welded, like melted to the bottom of the head. And what that did, I'll overlay a picture, but what we think happened is that little piece of metal sitting right there rocked the piston like that, and that caused the valves to touch the top of the piston, which they did make contact. And then the rod bearing wore pretty weird. So I think that the piston hitting that piece of metal caused like some weird tension on the rod bearing, and that caused it to wear weird. So that's what we think happened. Or maybe, which I know we had to like polish down the main journals on the crank, but I don't think we touched the rod journals, aside from just like polishing up to make them like clean again, which I have like a picture from before. I probably won't even put that in. Either that got like polished like crookedly, and that caused the bearing to wear weird, and then that caused like some rod knock, and also the head had a little bit too much material taken off that I didn't know about. If I did, I would have put a thicker head gasket in it. So a combination of those two things could have made the valves touch the piston, and that could have broken the valve guide. But I think what I said before, the first theory, was most likely what happened. It doesn't really matter. The engine's fucked anyway. So he's rebuilding that. We're going to be able to get away with just a new crank and bearings, basically. So that's not too bad. I do have a new head that we're just going to throw my valve springs, retainers, and cams into. If the head with the Tomei valves is bent, we don't really know. We're going to call the machine shop tomorrow and figure out what's going on. They've had the engine for like a month now. I'm not in too big of a hurry. This is kind of a really expensive ordeal, and I just gotta save up some money. It's kind of a good thing that this happened though, because I got my intake manifold powder coated, and when they powder coat stuff, they will sandblast it, and sandblast media will get inside of like the intake manifold. They'll probably blow it out, but really, because it's a cast part, that stuff's gonna stick in it, and really you need to like scrub it out. I didn't, and this is on me, so I'm gonna tell you guys so that you can learn from my mistake, learn a lesson from this. When the engine was running, it got like it was really dirty inside the pistons and stuff, as you probably saw from the pictures, or I'll overlay something right now. It was just sandblast sand all over in it, and it scored up basically like all the bearings, all the journals, the skirts of the pistons, everything. Not enough to where we can't just polish it out and it'll be fine, but like, had that valve guide not broken or my engine not rod knocked, we would have done a lot more damage from that. So my friend Mike, who's rebuilding my engine, he's just gonna go and he's gonna scrub that out, clean it out. And if you got your shit powder coated or sandblast, make sure you get that stuff clean, otherwise it will ruin your engine. So I guess we'll talk about this. My body filler is starting to crack in a few places, and yes, it looks fine now, but with the chassis flexing from drifting and driving and the vibrations from the engine, it's going to get worse. Along with, it's a drift car, it's going to get crashed eventually, and like a hit is going to crack a bunch of Bondo, and that's going to look really bad. So I talked to one of the Drift HQ guys that made the plates for Adam's green S15. He's gonna make me some plates. So basically, I'm just gonna cut this out, like what they did on that car. Cut it out, weld the plate in. I'm gonna cut out this, and I'm just gonna weld the plate. We're gonna leave these because it'll basically be like doing a tub, but leaving this. I don't really like the look of tubs, and also if I did tubs, then I can't run stuff like this. I'd have to like mount my power steering reservoir somewhere else. I'd have to spend like $2,000 getting custom intercooler piping made. It's a bit of an exaggeration. It's probably like $1,000 to $2,000. Welders normally charge like $80 to $100, maybe more, per weld, like around a pipe. So if you have a lot of pie cuts, that really adds up. So then I like this. This is really clean. I want to keep it like this. So doing this means I'm going to have to repaint the bay. The car is a single stage. I'm going to leave it single stage for now. It looks really good. Eventually I will do a base clear, and this is the first step of that. Would be when we do go back and repaint the bay, we will do it in a base clear. It shouldn't look much different, but it'll be a little more durable. I'm having my buddy who's way better at painting than me do it, because I've just been having problems with my gun spraying and stuff. And there's like some stuff back here where it's not painted very good, so we do have to redo the bay. I probably won't show that. That's kind of boring, but that's basically the game plan. Get the engine back, get it rebuilt, redo that part of the bay so that if it does get crashed, I'd rather have like some bent metal that was like pulled back out than like cracked body filler, really. So yeah, sucks, but it's just the way it goes. So I don't really know what I'm gonna do for uploads this winter. There's probably gonna be a few things that I can do. I don't know. This car will be done. We will finish it. It will 100% be ready for next season. So yeah, I will upload this winter, but the uploads will probably be kind of slow. So I'm gonna stop talking. I'm sorry. I wish we could have done more of this video, but obviously I'm not happy that my car blew up, and I did call that in the beginning that I'm not gonna get my hopes up. Alright, so I'm gonna end the video here. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Appreciate all the support, all the nice comments. drop a like, subscribe, whatever. I don't really care. Hopefully it won't be too long, and I will see you in the next one.